Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita Ramya from Sharjah Mataji. Hare Krishna. All glories to all your services, Mataji. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Anita Ramya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining, and all glories to your wonderful services, Mataji. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devi Dasi from Chicago, Illinois.
Hare Krishna, Yeshumati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every single day, and all glories to your wonderful services, Mataji. Welcome to the call.
All
Hare
glories to
Krishna.
your services to Mataji all the time. You are there.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Anjali Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining from California early in the morning for the chanting and also for Srimad Bhagavatam class. Very grateful to you for your association. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumar Devidasi from Raleigh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and giving your association every single day. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, and what pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Kuji. Vrinda from Atlanta, Pani Pridam.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining in all our calls and giving your association. Welcome to the call. Okay. We'll start the record.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Krishna Guru Maharaj, this is Shyama Gauri Devdasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shyama Gauri Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining, and thank you for all the services, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 9th chapter, 29th verse. Hare Hare. So before we hand over the call to Prabhuji, I request Anita Ramya Mataji to take over from here and give a brief introduction.
Hare Bol Mataji. One second. Stay with me. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome all of you to this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call for the morning session of Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we have with our speaker, His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. We are honored to have him on the call. And so here's a brief introduction about Prabhuji. Gauranga Darshan, His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji is an award-winning and best-selling spiritual author, educator, and inspirational speaker, renowned for his ability to make profound wisdom accessible to all. And with deep scriptural knowledge and a gift for lucid storytelling, he simplifies the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and other sacred texts through his books and talks, inspiring transformation through devotion and practical application. And Prabhuji is a resident of ISKCON Govardhan village. And Prabhuji serves as a Dean of Bhaktivedanta Vidyapita, where he leads an intensive 2-year study program on traditional Bhakti literatures. Through online and on-site courses and seminars, Prabhuji has taught thousands of students worldwide, emphasizing character development, mindful leadership, and the relevance of Vedic wisdom in modern life. As the author of several insightful books, including the Shubodhini study series, Prabhuji provides structured and systematic explanations of scriptures, helping seekers delve deeper into their spiritual journey. And Prabhuji's scholarly yet practical approach makes ancient teachings relatable and actionable. Beyond writing and teaching, His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu plays a pivotal role in developing educational curriculum, mentoring aspiring devotees, and conducting spiritual retreats. And Prabhuji is also a member of ISKCON Board of Examinations and the GEV Administrative Council, contributing to the global mission of sharing Krishna consciousness. A dedicated disciple of His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami, who is a disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Gauranga Darshan Prabhu is committed to spread devotion, culture, and service attitude. Hare Krishna. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving us a recitation today and joining on the call. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So this is a brief introduction about Prabhuji. All glories to all the services of Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Anita Mataji, for that brief introduction. Hare Krishna, Gaurang Darshan Prabhuji. Are you ready,
I saw
Prabhuji?
from Mataji.
Yes,
Prabhuji
yes.
joined the call, I think.
Yeah. He's not on video. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, maybe Prabhuji needs a couple of minutes. Oh, no, Prabhuji is there on video now. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your wonderful services, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for joining this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 9th chapter, 29th verse, Prabhuji. Over to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I offer my humble obeisances to all the devotees. Yadyudyate Suvasukarma Manovachobher Dehatmajadishanrubhis Tadasat Prithakvat Taireva Sadbhavati Yat Kriyate Prithakvat Sarvasya Tadbhavati Mula Nishechanam Yat. Can someone read the translation and purport?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In human society, there are various activities performed for the protection of one's wealth and life by one's words, one's mind, and one's actions. But they are all performed for one's personal or extended sense gratification with reference to the body. All these activities are baffled because of being separate from devotional service. But when the same activities are performed for the satisfaction of the Lord, the beneficial results are distributed to everyone, just as water poured on the root of a tree is distributed throughout the entire tree. Purport. This is the distinction between materialistic activities and activities performed in Krishna consciousness. The entire world is active, and this includes the karmis, the jnanis, the yogis, and the bhaktas. However, all activities except those of the bhaktas, the devotees, end in bafflement and a waste of time and energy. Moghasha mogha karmano mogha jnana vichetasa. If one is not a devotee, his hopes, his activities, and his knowledge are all baffled. A non-devotee works for his personal sense gratification or for the sense gratification of his family, society, community, or nation. But because all such activities are separate from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are considered asat. The word asat means bad or temporary, and sat means permanent and good. Activities performed for the satisfaction of Krishna are permanent and good. But asat activities, although sometimes celebrated as philanthropy, altruism, nationalism, thisism or thatism, will never produce any permanent result and is therefore all bad. Even a little work done in Krishna consciousness is a permanent asset and is all good because it is done for Krishna, the all good Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is everyone's friend, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the only enjoyer and proprietor of everything. Bhuktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Therefore, any activity performed for the Supreme Lord is permanent. As a result of such activities, the performer is immediately recognized. Nachatasman manushyeshu kaschin me priyakrittama. Such a devotee, because of full knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is immediately transcendental, although he may superficially appear to be engaged in materialistic activities. The only distinction between materialistic activity and spiritual activity is that material activity is performed only to satisfy one's own senses, whereas spiritual activity is meant to satisfy the transcendental senses of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By spiritual activity, everyone factually benefits, whereas by materialistic activity, no one benefits, and instead one becomes entangled in the laws of karma. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the 8th canto, 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Lord Incarnates as Mohini Murti. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees. In this shloka that we read just now, Prabhupada is concluding this episode of Mohini Murti. Mohini Murti appeared as a part of this Samudra Manthan episode, and the purpose of her appearance is to distribute nectar to the devatas and to cheat the demons and to deprive them of nectar. So the story began like this. Indra offended Durvasa Muni. Once when Indra was moving on his Airavat elephant, he saw Durvasa Muni, and out of happiness Durvasa Muni gave Indra a beautiful garland, and Indra disrespected that by neglectfully giving that garland to Airavat, and Airavat trampled it under his feet. And seeing this, Durvasa Muni cursed Indra to lose all material opulence. And eventually, Indra and all the devatas lost their positions in the heavenly planets, and the demons took over the heavens. Then all these devatas went to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu suggested that you should make a truce. You should make some sandhi with the demons, and together you need to churn the milk ocean to produce nectar. And that will rejuvenate you, that will make you powerful enough to regain your lost spiritual positions. And the devatas did that. And Samudra Manthan happened. And during this churning of milk ocean, Lord Vishnu assisted the devatas in so many ways. And finally, nectar came out. But the demons snatched away the nectar pot from the hands of Dhanvantari. And at that time, Lord Vishnu appeared in the form of Mohini Murti and distributed all the nectar to the devatas, and the demons did not get a drop. One demon tried to cheat Rahu. He tried to get some nectar, but Mohini Murti chopped off his head with her Sudarshana Chakra. So Sukadeva Goswami concludes this whole episode by saying that although the devatas and the demons work together for the same purpose at the same time, at the same place, still the results that these two parties attained were totally opposite to each other. While the devatas were blessed with nectar, and the demons, they did not get a single drop. Why? What's the reason? There is this shloka. Just sometime we are reading the last shloka of this ninth chapter. Before that, evam surasura ganaha samadesha kala. In that, Sukadeva Goswami explains that although the devatas and demons worked at the same place at the same time for the same purpose, the results were opposite. The reason is that the devatas are obedient to Krishna. They were submissive devotees of Krishna. Of course, they also do some mistakes sometimes, but overall, they're always obedient to the Lord. They're never disrespectful towards the Lord. Because some of them or many of them are not pure devotees, sometimes they may make mistakes, but they're ultimately the servants of the Lord. So in this current shloka, which is the concluding shloka of this episode of Samudra Manthan or Mohini Murti, Sukadeva Goswami is highlighting the importance of serving the Lord and performing spiritual activities. An activity which is done with a spiritual purpose uplifts our consciousness, brings us closer to Krishna. But the same activity, if it is done for one's own selfish purposes, then that will take us away from Krishna. That will not give us any happiness ultimately. Even if somebody happens to get some kind of material happiness while performing that activity, that happiness will not last for a long time. Ultimately, whatever activity we do, if it is intended to please the Lord, that's a spiritual activity, that gives satisfaction, as it is declared right in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktiradhokshaje ahituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So the supreme dharma of every single living being is to serve Krishna. And that service must be done without any material motivations and without any interruptions. But the good news is that even if someone happens to do some service to the Lord with material motivations, if there is consistency and regularity and intensity in that service, eventually the ill motives are also purified. For example, Dhruva Maharaj performed bhakti. He chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya under the instructions of Narada Muni. But his motives were not pure. He had impure motives. He wanted to take revenge on his stepmother. He wanted a position superior to Brahma. He was very ambitious. Still, those ill motives are completely purified by sincerely chanting the holy name of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, bhakti purifies our motives also. But we need to expose ourselves to the purifying potency of bhakti. If you don't practice bhakti at all, even if our consciousness is not pure, let's perform bhakti. Even if your mind is thoroughly distracted, let's chant the holy names of Krishna. Even if you have material desires, let's worship Krishna. Eventually, those impurities will be purified. Not that it's a recommendation that we have to worship the Lord with all material desires, but even if someone happens to have some material desires or ill motives, still, if they approach Krishna, approach Vishnu, perform bhakti yoga, that will purify them completely. Entire purport Prabhupada is talking on the differentiation between the material activities and spiritual activities. However sincere one's material activity may be, it cannot satisfy the soul. Sometimes even the most sincerely performed material activities also are described to be shrama eva hi kevalam, if they are not intended to please Krishna. But if some Krishna element is there, even improperly performed activities also are spiritually beneficial. Even incompletely performed activities also can give us some spiritual credits. नेहाभिक्रमणासोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna recommends that even if you perform little bit of dharma, little bit of bhakti, trayate mahato bhayat, that can protect us from even the most dangerous situations, right? That is the power of yoga. That is the power of bhakti yoga, to be more specific. That's why Bhagavatam second canto recommends Akamaha sarvakamo va mokshakama udaradhihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So akama means you have no material desires. Sarvakamova, you have all kinds of material desires. Mokshakama, you are specifically desiring liberation. Whichever category you may belong to, perform Tivra Bhakti. Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. That Tivra Bhakti means performing Bhakti with consistency, with regularity, with proper intensity. Then Bhakti will produce results. Right? Even little effort put on the path of Bhakti is never lost. What to speak of putting great effort in the path of Bhakti, even with impure motives? Definitely Bhakti will purify us. That's why Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, he says, Yagnarthat karmadon yatra loko yam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangaha samacharaha. Yagnarthat karmano. You perform all your activities for the purpose of that Lord of sacrifice, Krishna. Anyatra, if you do otherwise, lokoyam karma bandhanaha. This activities that we perform will cause bondage. You want to escape from karma bandhana? Perform all your activities for the purpose of pleasing the Lord. Yagnarthat karmanam yatra. So work done must be satisfying to Lord Vishnu. If it's not satisfying to Lord Vishnu, sharamayeva hi kevalam. That's why Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa Nirashir nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva vigatajvaraha. Says, I think this is the 30th shloka of the 3rd chapter. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. Sanyasya means you give up. What? Sarvani karmani, the results of all your activities. It's not just giving up, it is offering. Because Krishna added the word mayi in front. Sarvani karmani sanyasya means one meaning is give up all your activities. Another meaning is give up the results of all your activities. But this word mayi makes it spiritual. If you just say sanyasya, it is just detachment. But when you add the word mayi means unto me, then it makes it devotion. So Krishna is not just recommending that we work with detachment. He is recommending that we work with devotion. Let's work with devotion, not with detachment, right? Because detachment is included in devotion. Yes, this sloka. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasaha. Let's discuss because you opened it. Adhyatma chetasa means you work in spiritual consciousness. Just show the sloka only. You can make it big also if you want. So Adhyatma Chetasa means spiritual consciousness. Don't work in material consciousness. I mean, this is ideal. Even if somebody happens to work in material consciousness, if the work is meant to please the Lord, that material consciousness will be purified, as we discussed it some time back. But Krishna's recommendation is Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya. Offer all the results of your activities for my pleasure. Work for me. Don't just give up. Go up. And Adhyatma Chetasa means work in spiritual consciousness. Then one more point. Nirashir. Don't have any material desires. Nirmama. Nirmamo bhutva means don't be possessive. Sometimes whenever we do some work, we become very possessive. Possessive of the nature of work or style of work or possessive of the results of work. Give up this possessiveness. Give up this proprietorship. Nirmama. Mama means mine. So give up. That aham mameti means I and mine consciousness. So we need to give up this aham mameti consciousness and embrace the real aham mameti consciousness. What is real aham mameti? Illusory aham mameti means I am this body and everything that is connected to this body belongs to me. That is the illusory aham mameti. But real aham mameti is aham means I am servant of Krishna. Mameti means I belong to Krishna or Krishna belongs to me in a higher plane. Right? So that is the real possessiveness. That's the real identity. Aham is identity, a sense of identity. I am spiritual, living entity. That is my identity. And I belong to Krishna, and Krishna belongs to me. Or all my possessions belong to Krishna. That is the um, real mamatva. So, but Krishna says here, nirmamo, don't be possessive on a material plane. Yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. You perform your yuddha. If yuddha is your prescribed duty, you perform your yuddha, no problem. I am not asking you to give up your um, regular activities. Whatever activities you are doing, please do them. But do it for me. Do it with detachment. Do it with devotion. Do it without possessiveness. Do it without material desires. This is Krishna's instruction, right? Then Krishna also said in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Yat karoshi, whatever you do, whatever you give away, just do it as an offering to me. Tat kurushva madarpanam, offer it to me. In the Samudra Manthan episode, all the devatas, whatever they have done as an offering to Krishna, right? Means earlier, of course, they had some poor consciousness because of which they have offended Durvasa Muni. But later, they realized their mistake, they apologized for it, they sought help of the Lord, and they were willing to cooperate with the Lord. They were willing to cooperate with even demons. When the Lord suggested that make a truce with the demons, the devatas did not become egoistic. Lord, how can you ask us to collaborate with the demons? We can never work with them. They're demons. Of course, they are demons. But to serve the higher purpose, just to follow the instruction of the Lord, sometimes we may have to collaborate with the demons also. So, if the devatas who are actually devotees did not hesitate to collaborate with the demons to please the Lord, how can we hesitate to collaborate with other devotees to please the Lord or please Guru? So we should not have any ego in interacting with other devotees or working together with other devotees. If there is incompatibility factor, of course, fine. We may not work with them, but if it is an instruction coming to us from Guru or Krishna, then we should keep aside our ego or quote unquote incompatibility factors and willing and show that willingness to work to the best of our ability to work with them, to collaboratively work with them, right? Sometimes we may have to take up some austerity in in collaborating with someone who may not match our working style, our preferences, but for some service it is required. It's required to interact with such people. So that's what Krishna is telling, the principle of cooperation. So, but because they have shown that willingness to serve the Lord in this way, the Lord ultimately gave them nectar. Initially, it may be austere for their bodies to lift the Mandara mountain, very uncomfortable for their egos to go and beg the demons. Demons, can you please work with us? So, actually, physical pain is not a great pain. The pain that the ego experiences is more. Emotional pain is definitely painful. And physical pain is also painful. But the pain on the level of ego is more painful than even emotional pain. Emotional pain is like happiness and distress. Fine. So Krishna spoke about 3 types of dualities in the Bhagavad Gita. Sitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayoh. Sita and Ushna means heat and cold. These are dualities experienced on the bodily plane. Definitely, sometimes they become very intolerable. Too much of winter, too much of summer. Yes, it's intolerable for the body. But higher than that is sukha dukkha, happiness and distress experienced on the mental plane, the plane of mind. That's a little more difficult to tolerate than the physical austerities, physical dualities. But even more difficult than this austerities or dualities on a mental plane is dualities on egoistic plane. What are they? Man and Apaman. honor and dishonor, respect and disrespect, right? That's very difficult for a conditioned soul. I can't handle this pain on the plane of ego. So pain on the plane of body is easier, mind little more difficult, but ego very difficult. So sometimes we may have to keep aside our ego to serve the Lord for a higher purpose. That becomes a part of spiritual activity. So that strength to keep aside our false ego, or to completely give up false ego also, that the strength to give up false ego comes by sincerely chanting the holy names of the Lord.
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
In the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says that when you chant the holy names of Krishna, you will never become a victim of abhiman. Abhiman means pride or ego in one sense, arrogance. Our ego is subdued when we chant the holy names of the Lord. So we keep aside our ego, we give up our ego, and sincerely take shelter of the process of bhakti yoga and serve Krishna according to time, place, circumstances, according to what is expected from us. Right? So when Krishna says, offer everything to me, it's not just offering whatever commodities we have. Okay, I have so much money, I'll offer everything to Krishna. I have so much of wealth and name, fame, prestige, I will utilize everything in Krishna's service. All that is fine. But I have so much ego, let me give up to serve Krishna. Prabhupada says that if somebody gives up one's palace and goes to the forest, he cannot be called a renunciant. Because the palace doesn't belong to him, the forest also doesn't belong to him. He just changed the place of his residence, that's all. Both belong to Krishna ultimately. So once Prabhupada told one devotee, what do you have to give up? This devotee said, oh Prabhupada, I have renounced everything. Prabhupada said, you didn't have anything to renounce. You had nothing to renounce. Everything belongs to Krishna. So what we have and what we are supposed to renounce is our ego, is our ignorance. Right? Ego is a sense of identity, material identity. So let's give up the material identity and embrace a spiritual identity that we are servants of Krishna, and in that mood, let us serve Krishna without any reservations. And that's what is being told in this purports and in Bhagavatam in general. So the ability to offer everything to Krishna, the inspiration to offer everything to Krishna comes by the association of devotees. Because when we see another devotee offering everything to Krishna, offering one's time and energy to Krishna, then we will also be inspired. As Vritrasura prayed, Aham hare tava padaika mula dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuyah manah smareta supatir gudamste griditavat karma karotu kayah. He said, Aham hare tava padaika mula. Oh Lord, my identity is not that I'm a demon or a king or a human being in this world. My real identity is I am Dasanudas. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of your lotus feet. And in that mode of being a servant of your servant, what am I supposed to do? Manahasmareta asupater. Manahasmareta means with my mind, I will remember you. Then Asupater gunamste granita vak. With my words, I will glorify your qualities. Karma karotu kaya. With my kaya, with my body, I will perform your karma. Karma is not the material karma here. This is Krishna's karma, Krishna's service. Their karma is seva. As Krishna said in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 55th shloka, Mat karma krin mat paramo mat bhaktaha sangavarjitaha. So mat karma krin means working for Krishna. That is a spiritual activity. So Vritrasur, his mindset is that I want to become servant of your servant. In the mode of being a servant of your servant, I want to do three things. Number one, with my mind, I want to think of you. With my words, I want to glorify your qualities. With my body, I want to render physical service to you. Body, mind, words. He wanted to dedicate all three to Krishna. This is service. Sometimes a devotee may not have the ability to perform service physically. Maybe the body is sick, or he doesn't have sufficient means, he doesn't have money to offer things to the Lord. Then they can take to serve the Lord in the mind. Within their minds also they can serve the Lord. Vak karma karotu kaya. If karma karotu kaya is not possible, or grunita vak, glorifying the Lord's qualities is also not possible because of lack of eloquence, because of lack of experience. That is also not a problem. Within your mind you can remember Krishna. Within your mind you can offer everything to Krishna, offer service to Krishna. How? There is this Brahmana from Pratishtanpur. नाथेन पुरुषोत्तमे त्रिजगताम् एकाधिपे चेतसा सेव्ये स्वस्य पदस्य दातरिपरे नारायणे तिष्ठति यं कञ्चित् पुरुषाधमं कतिपयाग्रामेशमल्पार्थदम् सेवायै मृगयामहे नरमहो मूढावराका वयम् नाथेन पुरुषोत्तमे त्रिजगताम्. My Lord is Purushottama, best of all males. Nathenaha Trijagatam, he is the only master of all the three worlds. Nathenaha Purushottame Trijagatam, Ekadhipe, one and only master. Chetasa Sevye Swasya Padasya Data Ripare Narayane Tishtati. Chetasa Sevye means even if we render some service within our mind, within our meditation, within our imagination also, the Lord will give His own abode to us. The proof is that Brahmana in Pratishtanpur. Rupa Goswami describes his story in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He was very poor. He did not have any means to serve the Lord. So one day in a lecture, in a Bhagavatam class, this poor Brahmana heard that if somebody does not have money or different facilities to serve the Lord, they can still serve the Lord within the mind. So they can do mental service. This Brahmana became very inspired. So he started, he was sitting in a garden, and within his mind he was offering all kinds of jewelry, dresses, ornaments, and everything to the Lord. And thus he attained Vaikuntha. You know that story, I will not elaborate. One day he was cooking sweet rice within his mind, and he thought, let me check the temperature of the sweet rice. Is it cool enough to offer to the Lord? When he touched the sweet rice, his hand got burnt. He cooked the sweet rice in the mind, but his hand got really burnt. So his hand was burning, and then in seeing this scene, Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha started laughing so much. Then Mother Lakshmi asked him, "My dear Lord, why are you laughing?" Then he told the entire story, and he brought this Brahmana to Vaikuntha also. He sent his Vishnu Dutas with an airplane, Vaikuntha airplane, to bring the Brahmana to Vaikuntha. So, Sevye Swasya Padasya Dataripare Narayane Tishtati. When we do seva, even within our mind also, the Lord accepts it. So, whatever service we do to the Lord with sincerity, with consistency, whether it is big service or small service, it's a spiritual activity, and the credits we gain by such spiritual activities are eternal credits. They are never lost. Therefore, Bhagavatam says, Dharmasvanushtitah pumsam vishvakshena kathasuyah na utpadayed yadi ratim shrama eva hi kevalam. On a material plane, even if you do some service, you perform your dharma, svanushtitah pumsam, with great eagerness, with great commitment, even if you perform some service sincerely, if it is on a material plane, then it doesn't give us any happiness. It doesn't, the credit of that material activity does not go into our eternal bank account. And if all those activities are not inculcating a taste in hearing Harikatha, na utpadayed yadi ratim श्रम एव हि केवलम् धर्मस्वनुष्ठितः पुंसां विश्वक्षेण कथासु यः न उत्पादयेदिरतिम्. Means if all our activities are not increasing our taste in hearing Krishna Katha, then it is Shrama eva hi kevalam. Anything that we do in this world should ultimately increase our taste to hear Harikatha. Why Harikatha is given so much of prominence? Why Krishna Katha is given so much of importance? When so many pure devotees, they perform so many austerities and perform a lot of devotional service, and finally the Lord manifests in front of them, either in the form of Vishnu or Narasimha or any other form. These pure devotees are praying, "O Lord, please give us an opportunity to hear Krishna Katha in the association of your devotees." Whether it is Prahlad Maharaj or Dhruva Maharaj or Prachetas or Kunti Mata or Lord Shiva, whoever, they are all asking for one benediction. "Oh Lord, we want to hear Krishna Katha." Krishna is standing in front. They are not saying, "Please take us to Goloka, please make me a gopi, please make me a gopa, please give me so much of opulence, make me Brahma, make me uh, Indra." They are not asking for all these petty benedictions. Even Brahma's position is a petty benediction for a pure devotee. But a struggling sadhaka wants to become head of the department in a small institution. And for that, he can even pray to the Lord also. "Oh Lord, I have been working in this department for a long time. I was not made head of department till now." Right? So, but Brahma's position is also insignificant for a devotee, ultimately. So, a devotee is not interested in anything. They just want to hear Krishna Katha. Because yatredyante katha mrishtaha trishnayaha prashamo yatha. So when you hear Krishna Katha, our hankerings for material pleasures will be vanquished completely. And after the material hankerings are vanquished, we continue to hear Krishna Katha. So Krishna Katha acts as sadhana also and sadhya also. Practicing devotees will have to hear Krishna Katha. Perfected devotees also will continue to hear Krishna Katha. All the great devotees in Vrindavan, like Yashoda Mata, Nanda Maharaj, and Gopas and Gopis, they're constantly discussing about Krishna. Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. Macchitta, they have dedicated their minds to Krishna. Madgata prana, they have given up their lives for Krishna's pleasure. Bodhayantaha parasparam, they were mutually discussing about Krishna, enlightening each other on Krishna's pastimes, right? Wherever devotees gather together and discuss about the Lord is personally present there. He sits there. Yatra gayanti mad bhakta tatra tisthami narada. Naham tisthami vaikunthe sadhunam hridaye shiva. I don't sit in Vaikuntha. I don't sit in the hearts of people who are meditating upon me. Where do I sit? Where do I stay? Wherever my devotees come together and sing my glories, I stay there. So this is the ultimate spiritual activity that we need to aspire for. Idam hi pumsas tapasas shrutasya va. Maybe you can open this first canto, fifth chapter. There is a shloka, beautiful shloka. Idam hi pumsas tapasas shrutasya va svishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayoh. So there is a, I'm forgetting the Sanskrit there. Someone can open it. Idam hi pumsas tapasa shrutasya va svistasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayo avicchitorthah kavibhir nirupito yaduttama shloka gunanu varnanam. So the human beings, idam hi pumsaha, tapasaha means they may perform austerities. Shrutasya va means they may study the Vedic literatures and gain so much of understanding of, they may gain lot of technical knowledge. Idam hi pumsaha tapasaha shrutasya va svishtasya suktasya cha. Not this one. I think it's the 12th. Yeah, this one correct. Svishtasya suktasya cha. Svishtasya means sacrifices. Suktasya means lot of suktas are there in the spiritual literatures, right? Spiritual education, proper translates like this. Buddhi dattayoho. Buddhi means knowledge or sharpening their intelligence. Dattayoho means to give away charity, right? So whether you are doing tapasa or shrutasya, swishtasya, suktasya or buddhi or datta, half dozen traditional, conventional pious activities are mentioned here. Idam hi pumsas tapasah shrutasya va swishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayoh. So one may do these 6 kinds of traditional pious activities, Vedic prescriptions, but Avichyito artha, the infallible artha or purpose of all these activities is, as proven by so many kavis. Kavi means very exalted poets or philosophers. Nirupita means they have concluded, they have proved that the infallible purpose of all these 6 types of traditional activities is yaduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam. Uttama shloka gunanuvarnanam means glorifying the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord. That is the ultimate purpose. The purpose of anything that we do in this entire cosmic manifestation, in any form, in any species, you can close this, in any form or in any species, is just to glorify Krishna. We need to come to that stage of taking pleasure in the glorification of Krishna. As Bhagavatam 4th canto says, that Vina Harer Guna Piyusha Panat, without drinking the nectarian qualities of Lord Hari, we should feel restless. We should feel that there is something lacking in my heart. We should feel that my life is not complete. My day is not complete without doing this. But if we are not discussing Krishna Katha or hearing Harikatha or studying Bhagavatam and this kind of great literatures, and if that doesn't make any difference to us, something lacking in our spiritual life. Say 1 full month one has a sadhaka has not studied Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, or they have not heard any spiritual discourse, they should miss it. Not 1 month, 1 day also they should not stay away. But of course, we understand a lot of responsibilities. but if there is a gap in our Shravanam or Pathanam, and if you are not feeling that gap, if you are not missing Krishna Katha, then there is something fundamentally wrong with our understanding of what is spiritual path. Right? Idam hi pumsaha tapasaha shrutasya va svishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayoh avismritihi avichyutaha, avichyutorthaha means the infallible purpose as proven by so many great kavis. Kavi bhir nirupito is yaduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam, just to relish the descriptions of Krishna's qualities. And anuvarnanam means our description of Krishna's qualities should not be concocted. We cannot imagine. Sentimentally, we cannot imagine and glorify the Lord. Anuvarnanam, our glorification of Krishna must follow the footsteps of Parampara. As Prahalad Maharaj said in his prayers. Very beautiful. He said, Virincha Gitaha. O Lord, I want to glorify you, but I want to follow the footsteps of Brahma and glorify you. My glorification of your Lordship should not be just my own concoction. So I should do it by following the footsteps of Virinchi, Brahma. So Brahma is the Param Guru of Prahalad Maharaj. Prahalad Maharaj's Guru is Narada Muni. Narada Muni's Guru is Brahma. So I just want to follow the footsteps of my spiritual authorities and thus glorify you. He says, Virincha Gita. I just want to follow the footsteps of my great acharyas, predecessor acharyas, and just offer and just relish your glories and glorify you in this way. So Prahalad Maharaj is saying this, and so many other great authorities are also saying this. So we need to understand the difference between material activities and spiritual activities. Any activity done for our own sense pleasures becomes a material activity. But any activity done for the pleasure of the Lord becomes a spiritual activity. And of all the spiritual activities, the most uplifting and enlivening and the most popular and recommended spiritual activity is Krishna Katha. That does not mean we ignore other services. but the inspiration to perform all kinds of services to the Lord, to Guru, to Krishna comes from hearing about the Lord. Hearing Yaduttama Shloka Gunanuvarnanam. That's the distinction that Prabhupada is highlighting in this beautiful purport today. And also the shloka says that when you try to satisfy the Lord by engaging all your senses in His service, beginning with the tongue, beginning with the ear, etc., when you try to satisfy the Lord, it's like pouring water on the root. This example is not only in this shloka, it also comes in the Prachetas episode in the 4th canto of Bhagavatam. Narada Muni says, Yatha tarormola nishechadena tripyanti tatskanda bhujopashakhaha pranopahārartha yathendriyanam tathaiva sarvarhanamachyutejyaha. So when we water the root of a tree, automatically the leaves and flowers and twigs and branches of the tree are nourished. Similarly, when we worship Krishna, when we serve Krishna, when we engage all our senses in the service of the master of senses, Rishikesha, then automatically we are nourished, others are nourished, and everyone is happy. So, the key to universal happiness is in how much are we serving Krishna, how much are we using our senses and mind and words in the service of Krishna. Otherwise, we end up wasting our human form of life without a spiritual activity, and we may have to take another birth. Of course, if Krishna wants a devotee to take another birth for the purpose of spreading Krishna consciousness, a devotee is ready and willing. But Prabhupada says, unless Krishna wants, we should not take any interest in this material world. But if a compassionate devotee sees the conditioned soul suffering, they are willing to stay in this material world till all the suffering souls will go back to Godhead. So for such souls, whether they are staying in the material world or in the spiritual world, they are in spiritual consciousness. They are not fearful of this material existence. Yes, as Prahlad Maharaj said, Naiva dvije para duratyaya vaitaranya tadvirya gayana mahamrita magna chittaha Soche tato vimukhachetasa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimudhan. He says, personally, I have absolutely no problem. Naivo dvije means I am not afraid, I am not agitated, I am not anxious. Paradurtyaya vaitaranya. Although this vaitaranya, this material ocean is unsurpassable, duratyaya, very difficult to cross, still I am not afraid. Why? Twadvirya gayana mahamritam magna chitta. Twadvirya gayana. I am singing your glories, singing your prowess. Mahamrita magna chittaha. I have immersed my chitta, my consciousness completely in your glories. So I'm not afraid. I have no anxiety. But I have one problem. The problem is when I look at these conditioned souls carrying the burden of illusory happiness, these vimudhas, they are bharamudvahato, they are carrying the burden of maya sukha, material happiness. Looking at them, sochetato, I am lamenting. I want to stay here till they are all delivered. So unless we have such a great purpose, we should not take any interest in this material world. Easier said than done. Yet, we need to develop that inspiration to become detached from all material pleasures and take interest in performing bhakti and make our lives perfect. So these are some thoughts based on the shloka and the purport that we just read. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class. You gave so many differences as usual. And very nicely, you said you gave a point that even for the material desires we'll have to approach the Lord. And maybe how the cooperation is there among the, means like we'll have to give up the false ego in that case when we have to please the Lord. So that's how we see in this episode also that the demigods, not considering about their ego, they went to the demons to cooperatively churn the ocean. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. So hopefully I'll have that consciousness while doing the service also. So thank you so much once again. We have the raised hands. You have time, Prabhu, for question and answers.
Yes, Arti Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your divine association, and thank you so much for your all mercy you showered upon us in GV. I was so fortunate by mercy of Guru and Gauranga. I was there at 1 year residency course in GV, and we were really missing your character classes. And today, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your divine association. My question is, Prabhuji, earlier you mentioned that with whatever motive we should join Krishna consciousness, and after that, that material motive will be purified gradually. But and we have case study of Dhruva Maharaj also. But sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, we impose ourselves on Dhruva Maharaj that see, Guru Dhruva Maharaj has also material motives, and ultimately it got purified. So my motives will be also purified. So I can ask any material things from Krishna and find, after all, akamo sarva karma. So I am sarva kama. I can demand anything from Krishna. And sometimes the other side is that material problem is badly connected with spiritual life also. So we have to demand the thing from Krishna, because if we don't demand, it will impact on our spiritual life also, and it will impact on the sustainability of our life also. So at that time, what should the mood of our prayers, and how does Krishna reciprocate to it?
We should not consciously maintain the material desires. We should desire to give up all material desires. We should strive to give up all material desires. We should pray to give up all material desires. As Prahlad Maharaj said, "O Lord, if at all you want to give me any benediction, give me the benediction of not having any material desires." But if someone happens to come to Krishna with some kind of material motives, still we should not discourage them. We should have the sensitivity to accommodate them, that don't worry, that will go away. We need not tell this to ourselves after having practiced bhakti for a while. We should understand I'm not supposed to maintain it. Let me discard this material desire. And if you're unable to do so, we should feel guilty. We should feel repentant. We should seek support from other devotees. We should reveal our heart to other devotees. See, I'm bothered by this material impression or desire. Can you please help me? They will give some tips. But when someone else, a new person, comes to us saying that I want to worship Krishna, but I have this desire, don't encourage them. Don't discourage them. Hey, you are supposed to serve Krishna ahituki. Your bhakti is not ahituki. You are not qualified to practice bhakti. We cannot say that. Because Krishna doesn't expect us to become ahituki and then begin bhakti. You begin bhakti, he will make that bhakti ahituki soon. Right? And also we should, like, sometimes we become too guilty. Little guilt is fine, little repentance is fine, reasonable guilt is fine, but we should not become a devotee of depression. When some material desires are crossing our minds, we should not feel that I am not qualified for bhakti, let me give up bhakti. So one need not get into that kind of mode. One should pray and endeavor to give up and eventually continue to practice bhakti. Whatever may be the consciousness, let's hold on to the process of bhakti. Your mind is getting distracted, still chant Hare Krishna. Mind, sometimes when you're chanting Hare Krishna, so many poisonous thoughts keep coming in our minds. So many material thoughts, material desires, distractions keep bothering us, pulling us into different directions. Still, we should pray and then bring the mind back and let me focus on holy name. Krishna, please give me that strength. But all these distractions and disturbances should not discourage us. That's the purpose of saying that, with including the case study of Dhruva Maharaj. But that's not an encouragement for us to continue, do whatever you want, maintain all kinds of material desires, no problem. We should first desire the purification. Ajamil chanted without faith. That does not mean we have to chant without faith. Ajamil chanted to call his son. That does not mean we chant to call someone else. We should chant to call the Lord only. If Ajamil chanted indirectly and still he got mercy of the Lord, how much more mercy I will get when I chant directly, when I chant with faith, when I chant attentively, when I chant throughout my life, not at the time of death, when I chant with devotion. So, yes, does it make sense?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I ask in continuation? Sometimes we don't have that much of courage that we can ask Krishna that Krishna, it's okay, just maintain my bhakti. I have this material desire, just don't fulfill it, just maintain my bhakti. Sometimes we don't have that courage that, okay, Krishna, please don't maintain this material desire. We desperately sometimes go after some material thing, and it is impacting on our sadhana very badly also. At that time, is it allowed to ask that desire, or we should ask always to remove that desire?
In short, anukulyasya sankalpam pratikulyasya varjanam. Whichever desire is favorable for our bhakti, we can ask Krishna to fulfill that desire. But if we clearly know that it is not favorable, then we should pray that Krishna, please give me the strength to give up this desire. But there are some desires for self-preservation. Say, you're a student,
Need a job to
that seems asking for a job, career, money, should I ask or not? That's why at that time we need to remember Rupa Goswami shloka, definition of pure bhakti. Anya bhilashita sunyam gnana karma dhyanavritam. He said, Anya abhilashita sunyam, not Anya abhilasha sunyam. So in short, Rupa Goswami says that desires for self-preservation don't put us out of the realm of pure devotional service. We can desire for self-preservation. We can desire to eat some good food. We can desire to sleep for whatever 6, 7 hours, 8 hours in a day. We can desire to take some rest. We can have some light-hearted conversations with others, not that always intense philosophy only. So some basic like desires for self-preservation, which facilitate our practice of bhakti, we need to have. They don't put us out of the realm of pure devotional service. But when Rupa Goswami said Anya Abhilashta Sunyam, he is referring to the deep-rooted sense-gratificated desires coming for several lifetimes in the form of past impressions which are stored in our mind. Deep lust and envy, pride, greed. So those things we need to consciously discard. But some desires for self-preservation, if somebody is sick, so he may pray or someone else may pray for him that Krishna, please cure, if you so desire, please cure the sickness of this devotee. He is very sick, he is unable to come for Bhagavatam class, he is unable to chant properly, he is lying on the bed and chant Hare Krishna because he is sick. If you cure him, he will sit in the japa circle and then chant, right? So that prayer intended to cure the sickness of a devotee, which is material sickness, body. You are desiring or you are praying for the physical well-being, bodily well-being of another devotee, but that is required for him to perform the spiritual practice. So that is not against pure bhakti. So some Prabhupada writes, sometimes, although devotee does not have any material desires, circumstantially devotee may ask for something, some protection on a material, so that he can perform spiritual life properly. Okay, I hope this is clear. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Indeed, thank
Any
you.
other question? One line.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so we'll have one question, Prabhu. Haribo. Saurabh Yadav, Prabhu.
Saurabh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Regarding the real Mamatva, I practice this thing every day where I keep on reminding myself that I am a soul surrendered to Krishna. So my position is to wake up at 4 a.m. to do deity worship and so on. So my question is that right? And the second question is, like this practice is right in itself. And the second is, I also remind myself that I am a sincere child of every mother that is out there. Every female that is out there is my mother. I'm their child, and I should not be the enjoyer, right? But when I'm under the, like, I'm always under the modes of nature, but when the influence is very stronger, it's that position is not fixed, and then we like I start enjoying with eyes, nose, and all other parts. So how can I be fixed up in my position of this whole thing, and I can bring that real mamatva?
Thank you very much for honestly asking this question. I appreciate your courage in putting out this question. शक्नोति हैव यस्योढुं प्राक्शरीरविमोक्षण कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं सयुक्तः स सुखी नरः. We have to tolerate this urge of material desire or lust till the last moment of our life. As long as we are in the material body, this desire for sense enjoyment will continue to exist. We have to tolerate. And also, when someone is very young, say in their teens or in their 20s, probably in 30s also, in 70s also it will be there, but I'm saying those who are very young, Devamrit Maharaj says, you are not as bad as you are thinking. It is because of hormonal changes and some kind of physical needs that's manifesting in the form of material desires, but that does not mean you are actually poor in your character and all. That's the nature of the body, nature of the mind, nature of this material world, and especially in this Kali Yuga 2025, where the sense gratificatory visuals are present everywhere. It becomes even more difficult to maintain sanctity of mind. Like in the previous ages, you see, there is one Ajamil. Ajamil saw some lady and man publicly embracing. That's all he has seen. But in Kali Yuga, such things are everywhere. Sometimes people become so desensitized what they are doing in public also. In such case, only the process of bhakti can help us. As Rupa Goswami puts in his Padyavali, Kashaya cha bhojanadi niyamanno vavane vasato व्याख्यानादथवा मुनिव्रतभरात् चित्तोद्भवक्षीयते किन्तु स्फीटकलिन्दशैलतनया तीरे च विक्रीडतो गोविन्दस्य पदारविन्दभजनारम्भस्य लेशादपि. Kashayanna cha. By wearing saffron cloth, lust will not go away. Kashayanna cha bhojanadi niyaman. By regulating your diet also, lust will not go away. Nova vanevasato, by giving up this busy city life where there are so many sensual impressions around us. If you go to a secluded forest, don't think that lust will disappear. It will be there also. Even Rishyasringa was attracted. He never saw a female in his life. But still, that he was pulled out of that comfort. You can read Rama and Balakanda for more details. I will not narrate that story now. Kashayanna cha bhojanadi niyaman novavane vasato vyakhyana. You may read commentaries, big commentaries, scholarly commentaries. That doesn't mean lust will go away. Vyakhyana athava munivrata bharat. By taking vows of silence, becoming a sage also, one cannot control one's lust. Vishwamitra became a sage, and he was meditating for hundreds of years. But when Rambha came, he became a victim of anger. When Menaka came, he became a victim of lust. No vavane vasato vyakhyana tathava munivrata bhara chittodbhava kshiyate. But what can surely protect us from lust is Govindasya padaravinda bhajanarambhasya leshadapi. Arambhasya leshadapi. You begin sincere practice of worshipping the lotus feet of Lord Govinda, even slightly, that little bit of bhakti can destroy lust, can vanquish lust completely. So take shelter of Bhakti Yoga. It will take some time. To the degree we are intense in our practice, to the degree we are sincere in our practice, to that degree lust will go away. But this kind of distractions keep coming once in a while in the mind, but make sure that they are only distractions and not deviations, right? Smaller distractions will come for a minute, they're there, oh, then you become real. Let me just focus. that is still okay as sadhaka stays. If that is also not coming, then we are siddhas, we are not sadhakas. As long as we are sadhakas, some distractions are there, but they should be momentary distractions. But if we dwell on the distraction, then the distraction will become a deviation and we'll waste our human life. So whenever the mind gets distracted or diverted, pull it back. Yato nischalati manaschanchalamasthiram. And also try to keep yourself in the association of devotees. When people are around us, lusty thoughts will not bother us. When devotees are next to us, in public, in the company of 10 other spiritual seekers, we cannot entertain that lusty thought in the mind. But when we are alone, privacy is an enemy for a sadhaka. When we are alone, that too with high-speed internet, not the GV internet where signal goes every now and then. When we are alone with high-speed internet, that's enough. To distract Lord Shiva, the Supreme Lord has to manifest the form of Mohini Murti. The internal potency of the Lord manifested as Mohini Murti to captivate Lord Shiva. But in the case of a struggling sadhaka, a conditioned soul, the Lord need not manifest his internal potency. A mild glance of the external potency can do a thorough job in distracting us from bhakti. So we need to protect ourselves from those mild glances. No, don't look at me, please. So when will Maya not look at us? When we are amidst devotees, when we are surrounded with a protective wall of devotees. Thank you very much. I need to go now. Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Devotees, let's pay your obeisances to Prabhuji. Thank you for your time and dedication, Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatrupasya
kripa sindhu pratitana
Prabhuji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji ki jai.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna
so much,
Prabhuji.
dear
Dandavat
devotees,
pranam,
for
thank
joining
you
the
so much.
program.